Hi guys, and welcome to Java tutorial of a calculator. This calculator is actually at a request of someone who wants it to have multi or two displays, just like you guys are seeing now. So if I click on plus, that's what we get. And let's assume we want to try out the backspace. There we go. And let's go for 25, multiply that by 9. And we then change our mind. We don't want to multiply by 9. Get rid of the 9. Enter 2. There we go. And let's say we want to use our plus minus. Let's say plus 60. Let's say 61. We should have 11 there. There we go. Look at that. So we can add and do whatever you want to do with this system. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Java NetBeans tutorial and or development environment, and we'll put one of these together. So let's exit out. We're going to be starting a new project now. Click on File, New Project. So I'm using Java with Maven, and the project area selects Java application. That is it right there. Let's click on Next. And let's give that a name. I'm just going to call it calculator YT. Okay, so come right down here and let's copy that. Click on Finish. There we go. The development environment is ready right away. So what I want to do first of all is right above the or right below the package here. I'm come in here. Let's import the following libraries. So the first one I'm going to import would be Java dot abstract windows tool. There we go. So let's say all. That should be all. Enter a start there. That makes it all. Now the next thing is we want to let's import the abstract windows tool with events. So I'm coming here again, paste that in there, and just enter events there. Events dot action events. Action events. There we go. Paste that again. The next one is going to be with the event dot action listener. So let's say event dot action listener. There. And finally, I'm now going to install or I'm going to import Javax with an X dot swing. There. And we enter a star here that will denote all. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is you see right here the public class calculator YT, you see in there, and I want to extend. Let's extend the frame itself, extend JFrame so that it can listen to the action listener. So I'm going to say implement the action listener. That's it right there. Copy that instead of typing and just dump it right there. There. Okay, now if you guys notice I have an error here. So what I want to do is I'm now going to create a function for this one. So it's going to be a public function. I'm just going to copy this. I really don't need this, so let's get rid of everything we have in here. This is just a sample. Let's get rid of that and paste that here. And I'm going to get rid of this. So this function is going to be public function, and enter statement block. There we go. As you can see, I still have an error. All I just need to do there is to click on this error message there so that it will implement an abstract method for us. So just say implement all abstract method there. There we go. That is it. Okay. So that is that done. The next thing I want to do now is right underneath my class here, I'm going to declare all of the components that I intend to use. So let's say private J button, and the very first one I'm going to call it BTN. Let's say the first one is going to be BTN backspace. I want to arrange it all in order. So BTN backspace. Okay, the next one is going to be BTN CE. Then let's go for BTN C. Then the next one will be BTN plus minus, BTN plus minus. Let's say that's the first lot. The next one will be as follows. So let's go for, come right down here, paste. That's going to be BTN 7. BTN 7, comma, BTN 8, BTN 9. Okay, comma again. Then we have BTN, that will be 4. Okay, let's just copy this and change things around. Paste and just change this to, that will be 5. Here will be 6. 1, 2. Then I want BTN 3, comma, BTN 0. Okay, that takes care of all the numeric character. Then let's come back down here and create some other ones. So let's just, I can just copy some of these, paste it right here. And this is going to be BTN. Shall I call that maybe decimal or the addition? Let's say add. And this is BTN sub, BTN multiply. Okay, BTN multiply. I have multiply, I have sub, BTN plus minus is there already. Then BTN equals. Okay, then I will also need BTN decimal. Yeah, in total I should have about 20. I think I have about 19 here. Okay, there's one missing. That'll be division, BTN divide. There we go. All right, all my buttons are in the house. Okay, let's take care of the display. I'm going to need 2 displays, so let's come right down here. So again, let's enter private. So the first display is going to be J text field, and I'm just going to call that LBL display, comma, LBL result. Because the system, we have 2 displays, so that takes care of that. Now I need to declare all my variables. The one that will take in the first number, second number, and the operator. So the first one is going to be known as, is going to be double. The data type is double. I'll call that first number. I think I can just enter second number in there as well. There we go. And finally, I'm going to create a string character that takes in the operator. I'll just call that operator. There we go. So all the required variables are in place. There we go. Have a good look at that. Now, right here, inside this function here, let's do as follows. And I want to just create my JFrame, how the interface is going to look. So in there, we can just say set the title as follows. Title, that will be, we can just give it a name. I want to call it calculator. Calculator YT, the choice is yours, just the title. End it there with semicolon. Okay, now I'm also going to set the defaults. So let's just set default, and that will be close operation. Close the operation, and that is going to be for JFrame dot exit close. There we go, and end that. Now let's specify the size. Oh, look here, this is an error. So set default, close operation. Okay, all right, then let's just grab hold of that. There we go, it's created the method here for me. Okay, that takes care of that. Now underneath here, let's set the size. The size, I'm going to make that about, the width will be about 500 by maybe 600 or 600. So right for now, I can always change it if I want. So that's the width and the height. Now, what about the layout? Set layouts. That'll be new layout, and maybe the reset, we can make that false as well. Let's say set layout. Okay, set layout, that'll be new. Border layout, enter parentheses, and end it with semicolon. Okay, I also going to set the reset. I'm going to make that false. If I don't do that, you can always reset it how you want, which I will demonstrate later. Set resizable, that is going to be false there. Okay, well, I spotted an error. Look at what I did here. That should have been close. Let's correct that. Okay, and all right, in that case, these are all wrong. Get rid of them. All right, we're on track now. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to start work with the creation of my, first of all, I think maybe I should go for the label. Come right down here. So let's say I'm just going to call that create labels. Right, so that's for my labels, and here that was for the interface that I configured. Oh, let's just say create and maybe configure the JFrame. All right, that'll do. Okay, JFrame configured. Now, okay, I'm going to create an instance of my label now. So let's grab hold of these. Let's start with the display first. Come right down here and say display, that will be equals new J field, J text field, enter parentheses. And when I want to set, let me set a font for this display. dot set font, and the fonts, the choice is yours. I'm going to set it for area. Okay, and what about the fonts? There's a font, plain or bold. Yeah, why not make it bold? Yeah, you can make it plain as well though. Then say the size is about 40. That is for my font. Right. So here I have an error. I think that should have been set font. That would have been new font. Yeah, that should be new font. And we just close it here. Okay, that's fine. Bold, well, it can be plain. The choice is yours. Okay, what about the alignment for this font? I'm going to make it, let's go for horizontal. It's going to be horizontal anyway. Dot set horizontal alignment, and align, I want it to be to the right. So let's say text, this one, J text. We want to align it to the right. Paste that in there. Dot right. Close that up. Else it's going to default back to the left. So that's fine. Now, is it to be editable? Let's say that would be false. Let's say this dot set editable. We won't be able to edit it. Then we're going to make that false. All right. Background color. I'm going to make that white. Dot set back color, and that will be white. We don't want red. That's a default value here. Okay, white. So I can just copy these around for the next one, and that's meant to be the other one that'll be underneath here. So grab all of these, copy, paste, and just change the name around. That'll be LBL result. LBL results right here. There. Okay, so this is actually for those of you who are good in programming Java using, as you can see, I'm creating my buttons and so on using codes. All right, that is taken care of. Now let's take care of the display. I'm going to call that okay, that would be J panel, display panel. So let's create one of those objects. So I'm going to come right down here and just say J panel, and that's going to be known as, let's say, display panel, and equals new J panel. And my J panel, that's going to be, let's say, new grid layout will be, let's say, 2,1 there. Okay, so the next thing is, you see this panel that I've created, and now I want to add my displays in there. So let's say display panel, I want you to now add dot add. Who am I adding? You adding the one that will be on top. I want the display to be on top, so I'm going to grab hold of LBL display and just paste that right there. LBL display, that will be the one on top. The one that will be underneath, that will be LBL results. So we can just copy result, LBL result, and paste it right there. There we go. And finally, I'm just going to say let's add border, a bit of border, and align it to the north. So let's say add display panel. Let's copy that. Add display panel, and that would be, let's say, comma border layout dot to the north. There we go. That takes care of that. Now I'm going to create another panel that will house all my buttons. So in here, this panel was just for the display. Okay, so we can call this display panel. Create display panel. All right, so the next one is going to be create buttons. Create buttons. Yeah. Okay, I'm looking at an error here. Let's click on that. Oh, look at this. Remember, I deleted the error that I made here. So what I'm going to do is I want to go back in here, just click on this, and it will generate that, implement all abstract method for me there. Okay, I'll just click on that. If you come down here now, and that's it. Okay, so that's taken care of. Now let's start with the buttons. So the button is going to be, let's say, J button panel, something like that. So grab hold of this, come right down here, paste. That's going to be button. Change this to button. Button panel, that will be new, and in there just enter there. And now you see this button panel. I'm now going to set the layout because I want it to be 4x5. So let's say button panel dot set layout, new grid layout, and that is going to be 5x4, 5,5. There we go. Done. And I'm going to create my buttons. So let's start by creating, just like I've listed above there. The first lot is going to be these ones. Yeah, these ones. This will be the first lot, then the numbers and so on. So I'm going to copy that. Let's bring them down here. Right underneath here, paste. Now the very first one, that is going to be for the space bar. That's number 1. That will be equals. But if I'm going to need a method that will create all of these things for me as well. Else I'm going to end up with an error, because this method will be what will create every single component on it. But in any case, I can just call that the method that I'm going to create, and call it create buttons. Then I'll create the method once I finish this. So that's for the backspace. So let's just say comma is going to be known as, it's going to be child of button panel. So that's the first lot created. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the others and just change it around. So grab all of this, paste it here. Next. And finally. Alright. Indent. Undo the final one, paste it here. You can see I have an error. The reason why, because I don't have this. That is called create. Plus minus. I'm going to get the sign plus minus. Here that will just be an ordinary C, and here that will be CE, clear entry. And here I need an arrow, a back facing arrow. So I can get that from maybe Word documents, and this I can get that from Word as well. So let's open up Word, get those then before I create the function. So the Word is opening up for me now. Okay, Word has opened up. So let's go to insert. I need the following. You can also get them from internet anyway. Yeah, I need an arrow, then I also need a plus minus sign. If you don't know where, yeah, there we go. Okay, there they are. If you don't know where they are, just open up the main menu of it and you should be able to see them here. Okay, that's for the arrows and so on. This one is huge. Let's see. Yeah, that's too big. Oh, well, let's try that. Why not? So I'm going to copy those. Come in here. If it doesn't work, I'll change backspace. Paste that in there for the backspace. And here, the plus minus. But guess what? We still have an error. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come right underneath here. First of all, let's say we want it to be visible. Let's say visible. That will be true. So get that out of the way. Visible equals true. Now, we still have an error. So let's take care of this. I call it create buttons. So I want to create helper menu to create button and add the action listener. So underneath here, I'm going to say private create button J button is going to be called create button, and this create button we have the following values in there. So let's say string text comma and J panel. Those are the values that it has in there. That's going to be panels. You can see the errors are beginning to disappear now. Come right down here. Enter curly braces or statement block. Now, in here, J button, J button, that's going to be equals button. And this button is going to be new. That is my very first object for the button. So I'm going to call it J button. There's going to be some text on it as well. That's fine. Now the next one is going to be the font. We can copy font somewhere. So font here. Yeah. Grab all of these. We'll come right down here. So that is going to be button dot set. Dot set the font as follows. Okay. Now, what do we need? We need to add listener to this. This is very important, else it's not going to work. Button dot add action listener. This. Now, then let's add all of this to the panel. Panel dot add buttons. and return buttons. There. Okay, as you guys can see, there's no more error here, but we still have error in here. If you can figure that out, I'm missing semicolons. There we go. So my button creator is now ready. So let's create the rest of the buttons. Okay, for the rest of the buttons, that is going to be, let's come in here. I'm going to grab hold of, I need all of these. Grab all of that. Or we can just do it one at a time. So now this very first one, that's going to be for button 7. So I can grab hold of all of these. Yeah. So this is 7. The case of 7, oh, that should have been equals 7, and change this to 7. There. The error is gone. Okay, so for the rest, I can just copy this and just paste it there. Paste, we have 8 here. And go to the next one. That'll be 9. And then I'm going to have 4 here. Bring this together. That'll be 5. 6. Then this will be 1, 2, 3, and that of 0. Okay, if you notice, we have them as 3 by 3. So let's complete it properly. Okay, now 8, 7, no, that's 9. And underneath here, that should be the addition. There. Copy that. Paste that in there. This will be for addition. And the name is add, I believe. Let's go up and see the name. Here is addition. Okay, just grab all of that so that I'll remember the names. That is addition. Let's paste it here somewhere. I'll get rid of it as soon as I'm done. So that's addition. There we go. Then the next one is going to be for subtraction. Subtract. That is called sub. And change this to subtract. Oh, this should have been 4, 5, 6. There. Now this is 1, 2, and 3. And underneath here we have multiplication. And this one is going to be mod. There we go. And the next one here, that will be for and one more. So this will be division. And this is division. This is equals. And here will be equals. And here, that is the decimal. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. The equals and decimal. That's good. Done. Okay, so let's get it all indented properly. and select all of these, and I'm just gonna select Alt Shift and right. There we go. All right, that's fine. Now we want to make sure we add this to our, let's say we add the buttons to the panel. Add the buttons to the panel. Add the button panel to the frame. Actually, add the button panel to the frame. There. So to do that, all we then need to do is just say add button panel, comma, so border layout dot center. There we go. There. Okay, now that we have all the buttons in place, I'm going to see if we can invoke the button, because if I run it now, it's going to give us an error. And see where we have the public action performed, that's where we enter all of the addition and so on. So underneath here, I'm going to create a public main void that we invoke as follows. Let's say public, that'll be no public static void main, and that's going to be string, and enter the arguments, and there. Now in here I'm going to say swing utility swing utilities dot invoke later. Yep, invoke later, and enter parentheses, and what I want you to invoke later will be as follows, and that's going to be new calculator. The name of my calculator is called calculator YT. So bring it right down here, undo that, copy, come right down, paste it in here, calculator YT, and there we go. So if I run it now, hopefully my system should work. Yeah, it should work. Let's come here, save first, compile, and so far there's no error. It is successful. Now click on run. There we go. Look at that. All my buttons are in place. Oh, I need to change this to 9. Oh, this should have been 0. Okay. So let's correct this error. And look at this. That was supposed to be backspace, but that is now working for that. So let's go back in here. The buttons, where is that? This is 9. And what other error do I have? I have this backspace is not working. I'm going to copy the other one. Let's go back in Word. Copy this one and paste it right there. Okay, so what else do I need? I think the last, okay, there we go, 0. I should have made 0. All right, so I'm going to save, compile, and let's try it out one more time. Now run. Check that out, guys. I have my 2 display over there. My backspace is now visible and everything is fine now. Okay, let's take care of all of the calculations. Okay, let's start work with the operation. So I'm going to come right here. If you guys can still recall the public void action perform. Okay, this is where I'm going to take care of everything. I'm going to get rid of these. All right, because if you can see, the message said not supported yet, but now it is supported. So I'm going to get rid of that. This is going to be supported now. So get rid of everything in here and enter my supporting lines of codes in there. Okay, so I'm going to start by first of all creating a data type called string, and I'll call that input. And this very input is going to take in value from, let's say, J button. Okay, so inside our J button, I'm going to say e.get. So what are we getting? We're getting the source of whatever we want. From that source, and we say dot get the text. There. And close that up. All right. Close this up there as well. Okay, now I'm going to now use this inputs. Let's say input, or let's say if input dot match, if it matches any of these value, and that value I'm going to put them in an array format. So let's first of all enter speech recognizer and enter. No, that should be square bracket. Inside that square bracket is going to be from 0 to 9. If the value is from 0 to 9, I want the following to happen. There. And what do I want it to do? And I want the LBL result dot set text. And the text that we are setting inside LBL results, I want it to be LBL result dot get. So let's grab all of these, paste that in here, change this to get, and that will be plus the input itself. I'm going to grab hold of the input. So we say plus input. Okay, which means it's going to add whatever value we have in here to this. Right. Else. So else. If that is equals dot equals, then in that case, let's take care of the plus minus first. Yeah, we can take care of the plus minus. So I'm going to copy plus minus sign there and just dump it in there. Scroll right up. Where is it? Plus minus. There we go. Come right down. And just paste that in here. If that is equals the plus minus sign, in that case, now close that, then come in here, open up curly braces, So that one is taken care of. Then we can then declare a variable here that I'll call value. So let's say double value, and that is going to be equals double dot. I want you now to pass double. And what are you passing? You are passing this. So let's pick on the one with the get. Okay, that's what we just passed into the value. So now let's set this value into our results. So I'll come in here, paste that value in here, but it has to be converted to string. So let's say string dot value of, and that's going to be value minus this value that I set in there. Okay, so you can grab all of this and just say minus value there. So that takes care of my plus minus. Else, so we just say else if this is equals the equal sign. So we grab all of everything here. Else if it's equals this, okay, if it's equals that, we now want the system to do as follows, because we're dealing with the equals. Now in the case of equals, let's implement the try statement. Try as follows: if lbl display dot get text, and if that is equals, let's say dot equals cannot divide by 0, okay, if it cannot divide by 0, then what do we want? We cannot divide by 0. We want the following: display, we set that to clear. So grab all of this, paste it in here, and just enter clear, and here will be set to clear. Semicolon here. Now we need to we're going to have to take care of this as well. So right there, I'm just going to enter the exception statement so that that error will get out of the way. It's becoming annoying. So there's exception ex, and that's going to be, let's say, ex dot, just print out your own message. Yeah, grab all of that, and that's it. That error is gone. Okay, back in here. So if it is not empty, so let's say if the result is not empty, this one, let's get the result. So if it's not a 0, then let's say if results is not results dot get is empty, then let's say and not the operator. Remember the operator that was declared, not operator. dot is empty. In that case, we want the following. No, it's already declared. The variables, there they are. First and second number is already declared, so I'm going to grab hold of that instead of. So first num, the first number that will be equals double dot pass double, and what we're passing in there is going to be lbl display dot get. Paste that in here and that. And what about second number? That of second number will be results. Okay, grab hold of all of this and paste that in here. And this is result, lbl result. There we go. All right. So we then need to now use a switch statement to take care of this operator. Okay. We know there's some values in here already. The first value goes in here, the second value goes in here. So let's check out the operator. If the operator in this case is the plus sign, we do this. We can use an if statement for this as well. But I think the easiest would be switch statement. So let's say switch operator. Paste that in here. Enter statement block. Now the first case is the plus. If it's the plus sign, do as follows. Okay, lbl results dot set text, and the text that we are setting in this case is going to be string value of. So string value of whatever, just get rid of, just copy that and dump it in here. String value of the plus so that's going to be first number plus second number. There we go. And we then end it by saying break. All right, first one is taken care of. So for the second one, we can just copy and paste. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Okay, this is subtract, and here is subtract. Multiplication, and that's multiplication. Division. In the case of division, we need to carry out one or two things in there, because if the end user should want to divide by 0, we want the system to take care of that for us. And that is the accent, or that's the reason why we have this up here. So come right down here. In the case of division, so we use an if statement here. So if the second number equals 0, so in here, if this equals 0 equals 0, then the result is going to be cannot divide by 0. So let's go up here and just copy that. It cannot divide by 0. Where is it? Right, grab hold of all this. Yeah, grab hold of that. And come right down here. In this case, I want it's going to be the result cannot divide by 0. Paste that in here. And just change this to S, and this one will be result. So result.text, that will be set. Actually, get rid of this and this as well. Okay, it can now divide by 0. Else, we want the following to be as follows. So grab all of these and just dump it in here. There we go. And that's take care of the divide. So make sure it's saved though. Now, okay, let's clear the display anyway. So I can just come right down here and clear my display. LEL display dot set text equals clear. There. Okay, so all of the other operators are taken care of. We now need to have a go at the rest. And right here, guys, all that is left for us to do is to take care of the backspace. That is the backspace. Okay, so if the sign is the backspace sign, this is what we want the system to do to here. I had to speed that up because it's taking too long. And here we have the clear entry. If it's clear entry, just clear whatever we have in here. And next, if it's C, just clear both. Clear whatever you have inside the LBL result and LBL display. Else, carry out the following operations. This is the guide that displays the whole result. And that is all there is to it. Okay. So let me show you guys the lines of code again. Let's take it from the top. Import as follows. Underneath your class here, declare all your components that you intend to use and the function for the framework, the display, both displays, the top one and the bottom one. Then insert them in a panel. Display the panel for the buttons, specifying the size of each button as 4 by 5 or 5 by 4. We have 5 columns, 5 rows, 4 columns, and the spacing in between them is 5 by 5. And there we go. Those are all the buttons. And this is a function that actually executes the button onto the screen. Now once that is done, we now need to override and come right here where all of the operations are taken care of. There. And those are for the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And right here, that is for the backspace, clear entry, clear, and display the value. And that's all there is to it. So I'm going to run it now. Let's save that. Of course, if you develop this using Java with Ant, all you just need to do is to drag in the components and so on. But in this case, this guy would like me to type it all out, and that is it. So let's say 52 multiplied by whatever. There we go. Plus minus. Let's say we want to add 160 to it. The answer should be 4 if that's correct. There we go. It's 4. Backspace. Okay. 95 times 2. No, I don't want to times multiply it by 2. Clear that, and let's multiply it by 5. There. Well, that's how you create your own calculator using Java Maven with Java application. So with that, guys, I'm calling the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it, and you all have a nice day now, and bye for now.